Welcome, comeback kids. It is time for Thinking Maps Ambassadors. Let's go ahead and get started today. If you have joined us in all of our previous meetings, you would know that we have covered how to use each of the thinking maps, and today's lesson is going to be about how to take pre-reading notes using a circle map. So this is a great way for us to build context and get an idea of what the heck is this book about? Why do I have to read this? All right, so this is how we do that. We're going to use our circle map to help us build context, to help us understand what we're reading better so that we can get better grades. Plus, then we don't have to read it more than once. Because I don't know about you, I don't like reading things more than once. Right? Okay, let's jump in. So hopefully you've already watched our lesson on how to create a circle map. And you may be staring at this particular app going, what is Ms. Verdon doing? This looks very odd. So let's start by looking at the textbook. So when we are reading our textbook, we can use different strategies to help us get the most out of it so that we don't have to go back and read over and over again to find the answers we need for our comprehension questions. Brilliant idea, right? Let's just read it once and not have to do it again. Yeah, think smarter, not work harder, right? Okay, so let's take a look. Most of you have probably read your, I pray all of you have read your textbook before. You may not have seen a digital version, but I figured for our purposes for this lesson, it's much easier to use the digital version. If you have it, awesome. If not, no worries. This looks exactly like the printed book you have at home. All right, so I've taken a lesson out of chapter 7, and today we're going to be focusing on chapter 7, section 2. So if we are using a circle map to skim and help us build some context, the first thing we got to do is label our map. Oh, brilliant, right? Okay, so in the center of our circle map, we're going to put the chapter, section, and section title. So if you look over here at my map, you can see in the center of my map, I put chapter 7, section 2, and I copied the title of the section, Erosion and Deposition. All right, now that I've got that, I'm ready to get started. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, has anyone ever skimmed a book before? Yeah, okay, some of you may have done this. Awesome. When I skim, do I read every word? No, I'm not going to read every word. I'm skimming. I'm just mostly looking at formatting and bright colors and highlighted things that get my attention. All right, so when I'm skimming, I'm going to go through, I'm going to look at the pictures and the graphics, and I'm going to look at each of the titles within the section, and then if there are any big bold words or words that are highlighted, I know those are my vocab words, so I should probably take a quick peek at those, right? So I'm going to go through this section. I've already written down erosion and deposition. Awesome. Okay, so then my first heading is right here, gravity's role. So in my map, I'm going to put gravity's role. So you can see I've got that right here on my map. Awesome. I've got the first word on there. Okay. And then I'm looking and I see some highlighted words. I see erosion is highlighted. That means it's a vocabulary word. In almost all of our textbooks, they highlight the vocabulary words. Some of the books, they put the definition in the margin here. Some of them, they embed it within the text. This particular book, they embed our definitions within the reading. So where do you think I'm going to need to look in order to find the definition? Yeah, I will have to look inside the story, inside the textbook. Okay, so that means I'm going to have to read a sentence. What? I have to read a sentence? No! Ms. Verdon, you said I wasn't reading. Ha, I was wrong. We don't do a bit of reading. Okay, so I see the word erosion. I need to know what it means. I'm going to read the entire sentence and see if I can get a definition from that sentence. Okay, it says the removal of weathered rock and soil from its original location is a process called erosion. Okay, now I don't have to write that exactly as it is because that's long, right? I'm going to shorten it. So I'm going to put it on my map. I need to make sure I have the word erosion. Oh, here we go. Removing, wearing away of rock and dirt. See, I'll put in my own words because I kind of, like, I had a little bit of prior knowledge. I'd seen that word before, especially being a California resident. Like, we know about rain and erosion, right? Most of us do. All right, so I just kind of put it in my own words. Now remember, a circle map is a way to just note your thinking and help you think about this topic. So does it have to be perfect sentences and paragraphs? No, especially not if I'm doing circle map notes. No, I need to make sure that I can understand it and they have all the necessary components. So as long as I have my word and my definition does not have to be exactly copied word for word out of the book. It needs to mean something to me so that I will remember it. So it's better if it's not exactly word for word what's in the book. It's better if I put it in my own words, because that's going to make my brain go, oh yeah, this is important. I had to process this. I had to think about this. I guess I should remember it, right? That's one of the purposes of this activity. All right, so I got my word and my definition. Let's keep going. All right, so then I've got another word over here, deposition. Where am I going to find the definition for this word? Yep, you're right, in the sentence. So I'll read my sentence. After the materials are transported, they are dropped in another location in a process known as deposition. Wait a minute, so they're telling me that erosion is when we take something away and deposition is just when we drop that something somewhere else. Oh, that doesn't seem so bad, right? Okay, so in my map, I need to have the word deposition, and I just put where dirt or rock is deposited after being moved. I could have put dropped, I could have put left. I used the word deposited with purpose because deposition has the word deposit inside of it. And that will help my brain latch on to it. Oh, deposit, deposition, that's where we drop stuff when we're done with it. Oh. So look for little clues like that you can use to help you remember words. I always look at those things. All right, so I've got deposition is deposit, where things are deposited. Okay, so I've got those words. Are there any other? Nope, but I could. There's no other titles on this page or highlighted vocabulary words, but there's this picture, so I could check out the picture. It looks like a waterfall. I love waterfalls. I want to think this one's in Oregon. It's gorgeous and it's green. Yeah, makes me think of Oregon. And if I choose to, I could read the caption that goes with the picture. Just the caption. I'm just reading captions, all right? I am not reading this section. All right, so it says within about 2,600 meters, the stream deposits 78 meters at Fall Creek Falls in Tennessee. Oh, so it's telling me that this waterfall is actually moving rock and dirt. That kind of makes sense, right? Water does that. Cool, and it's pretty. All right, so now I'm gonna turn the page. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so, on this page, I've got some more headings. I've got erosion by water, and then look over here, I've got 2 red headings. Doesn't matter if they're smaller subheadings or if they're the same color or size or font. I'm just putting down any of the headings that I see. So I'm gonna put down erosion by water, rivers and streams, and wave action on my map. So you can see here I've got erosion by, oh yeah, see I put H2O because that was shorter than water. Remember, these are my notes, so I can do it how I want as long as it's going to make sense and it has all the things that were in the book. I can make it shorter because these are notes. Yeah. So H2O, if you didn't know already, is the chemical equation for water, hydrogen, 2 hydrogen and an oxygen bond together to make water. It's just shorter to write, so that's what I put on here. So erosion by water, and then I've got rivers and streams, and I've got wave action. Okay, so I've got all the titles from my page here. All right, now I see that I've got 2 vocabulary words here, so I'm going to make sure that I copy down those vocab words and their definition in my map. Where would I find the definition? Yes. In the reading. It's right there in the sentence with the word. Yeah, it's absolutely right there. Okay, so real erosion develops when running water cuts small channels into the side of a slope. Oh, I see in this picture where it says real erosion. So I put it on my map. I put real erosion. put water cuts small channels. Straight, simple, right? That's all I need. Okay. And then I have the other word too, which is gully erosion. That's just when the small channels get bigger. We can look over here. When a channel becomes deep and wide as a result of further erosion, real erosion evolves into gully erosion. Okay, if you live in Riverside County, you've probably seen things like this on the sides of the road, right? Yeah, it's channels that the water cuts. And once in a great while, if you look, when it happens to be raining, you might see water in them. It's a rarity, right? Okay, so now I've got my two words, real erosion and gully erosion. And if you look on our map over here, I did manage to put definitions for each of them based on my reading. I kind of rephrased it, put in my own words, made it mine, took some ownership, right? Okay, awesome. So I got those definitions. And then I kind of looked at this picture because it just went with these words, right? I guess I could look over here at this one and see. So I always want to kind of take a picture walk, as we would have said in elementary school. It helps to look at the pictures because it activates my mind to think about, well, what is this section about? What do I already know about this? What are they trying to tell me? Just gives our brain a better chance to latch on to that information. Okay, so this one, it says, streams slow down when they meet the ocean. In these regions, sediments are deposited by the river, resulting in the development of a delta. Oh, that's what a delta is? It's just where the rivers meet the ocean. I saw some fancy thing. Cool. This one looks it's so brown in this picture. I always pictured it as green. Huh. So that's kind of an interesting idea that the rivers slow down when they get to the ocean. I guess it kind of makes sense because you got the tides, so the ocean water might be pushing in and pulling out. So yeah, it could have an effect. Okay. It does make sense that a lot of dirt would end up there, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna look at this last picture. Oh, this is my favorite place in the whole world. I see beach. I love the beach. Okay, but I'm looking at this picture and I see kind of like this sand hill here, almost like a cliff, and then the water here. Okay, so just having read what I already did, I could kind of picture maybe they're talking about like how the water is eroding the sand, right? Or maybe they're talking about deposition. Maybe they're talking about things being put there. I'm gonna read this caption. Right? It says, the Outer Banks of North Carolina have been built over time by deposition of sand and sediments. Oh, so it's talking about the sand being put there. Deposition, it's depositing it. And I got that just from reading the vocab words. Well, this is cool. I got some of this, okay. And then I kind of looked at, when I saw up here, this heading wave action kind of goes with this picture, doesn't it? Because the waves are moving the sand around. Ah, okay. Check this out. I have not read a blessed thing from the main part of this article. I've just read the captions and I already have kind of a cool idea. Okay. All right, so I see there's a review here. That means I'm at the end of my section. So this will be the last page. I'm going to start with my headings. So I've got glacial erosion, wind barriers, and erosion by living things. Did I get all of that in my heading? In my map, glacial erosion, wind barriers, and erosion by living things. Yes, I have all my headings on this map. Awesome. Okay, so this map is starting to fill up, right? All right. Okay, so I got my headings. Are there any vocabulary words? No, but I see some pictures. I'm going to read those pictures. So let's take a look. Next to this section about glacial erosion, I see this picture. We've got a stream, we've got mountains. It's green and pretty. It says Iceberg Lake in Glacier National Park, Montana, was formed like glaciers. Well, with a name like Glacier Iceberg Lake, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, okay. I can see that. Glaciers, like mountains of ice, carving out these mountains and carving out this valley. That's kind of cool. I'm guessing that's not a fast process. All right, okay, and then I'm gonna look at this picture. I'm just looking at the picture. I see trees that look kind of like juniper trees, and I see that it looks like they're being blown in the wind. Okay, so let's read our caption. A windbreak can reduce the speed of the wind for distances up to 30 times the height of the tree. Okay, so I guess when they say windbreak, they mean these trees because they're stopping the wind. Huh, Okay. It says it can reduce the speed of the wind. So that's textbook language for saying slow down, right? Okay. All right. So it's slowing the wind down for distances of up to 30 times the height of the tree. Whoa. So it's saying that as tall as that tree is, on the other side of the tree, the wind is going to be slower, even longer than the height of that tree. Okay, that's cool. A little mathy on me, but all right, I get you. You got to work the math in there. All right, they're just trying to torture me with math. All right, okay. But it does make sense, and I've experienced this, that when you stand on the other side of the tree from the wind is not as strong. Yeah, those of us with long hair have learned that trick long ago because we kind of prefer not to have our hair with that wind blown look, right? That made sense. I got one more picture here I can read. Okay, so I got this, dang, that's some big equipment. Looks like they're moving some dirt around. Whew. Okay. What's it say? In this construction project, the landscape was considerably altered. We see that all the time if we look at housing tracks, the way they move the dirt and pack it down to put it where they need it to support the foundations of the houses or the road beds. Yeah, okay. So so they're saying that people are changing the landscape. So if we're moving the dirt around, is that an example of erosion or deposition? Maybe more deposition, right? Because we're putting the dirt somewhere. Yeah. Huh. Cool. Okay. Well, I just realized I know kind of a lot about this and I haven't even read it yet. So let's go back to our map. We've got all of our headings. Yeah. We've got we've got our vocab words with definitions already. That's cool. Okay. And I've already kind of thought a little bit about what is this chapter about. Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got our map complete. We've skimmed through our section. Time for the frame of reference. Yes, let's do it. All right, so if you're drawing the map yourself on paper, give yourself plenty of room in your frame of reference to write. Okay. Uh-oh. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, technical difficulties. Here we go, we're back. All right, so we should have a frame of reference drawn around our map with some space to write in. Okay, now if you've taken one of our classes before, you will know that in the frame of reference, we usually put where we get our information from. So in this case, this is the Earth Science textbook. I can type, honest. That's where we got the information from, right? Okay, and now in a circle map notes, we always want to make connections between what we saw in the book and our own prior knowledge. Yeah, kind of makes sense, right? Like, because that helps our brain go, oh, you mean you want me to remember this stuff? Okay. Or in the case of pre-reading like this, it helps our brain go, oh, what do I already know about this topic? Oh, wait, this is connected to, and it helps us kind of map out our knowledge. So this is a really great idea. All right. So as we were looking at our map, we were already making some connections. On this last page, there was a connection between the windbreak and math, right? Because it talked about a windbreak can reduce the speed of the wind for distances up to 30 times the height of the tree. So we saw that math could be involved in this topic. Okay, so I'm just going to put on my map, on my circle map, a note that math can help calculate distances, materials, travel, or, yeah, because most of this chapter was about like picking erosion and deposition. So it was about things being moved from one place to another. So I'm going to put that math can help calculate the distance materials travel. So I'm making a connection between a different content area and kind of what I saw in the book. Yeah, cool. All right, let's see. I could probably make a couple more connections. Let's go back. We talked about, oh, what did I when I was over here, I saw this picture. It looks like a beach with waves, and that helped me connect to what I've seen in the past. I've seen how powerful the waves are and how much sand they can move. So that would be a connection I can make. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go back to my map now, and I'm going to add a note. Okay. Waves are powerful forces that move sand easily, right? That's a connection I made when I saw that picture. Oh, cool. Okay. All right. Let's see. Is there any other connections I can make between what I saw and something I already knew? Let's see. Yeah, you know what? When I saw this picture, I talked about how I know that waterfalls can move rock and dirt. So that was a connection I already knew. So I can put that in my frame of reference, right? Okay, sweet. Okay. Waterfalls move pieces of rock and dirt. Awesome. So that's another connection I was able to make. Oh, cool. All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, some of you might be saying, well, what if I don't know anything about any of this stuff? Brilliant question. So we still need to make some connections on this map. To help us do that, we can use our textbooks, right? Okay. So I'm looking at the first page of this section, and in my book, it gives me some essential questions. And I can use those questions to help me draw connections between what I know and what's in the book. Remember, I haven't even read this book yet, right? I'm already activating prior knowledge. So I'm going to read through my essential questions. What is the relationship of gravity to all agents of erosion? Now, I don't like the way that question is written because it sounds confusing, so I'm going to kind of like think about this question. So what is the relationship? So I could say, how is it related? Okay. Gravity. So how is gravity related to erosion? Oh, that question I kind of get, right? So they're just trying to like put in all these fancy academic terms, but I can figure these questions out. Okay, so, oh, but I already know about gravity. And so they're telling me gravity is related to erosion. Oh, well, there's a connection right there. Oh, sweet. Okay. Well, that was easy enough, right? So we were able to turn the question, the essential question from our lesson, into a connection to something we already knew. I already knew about gravity, and I've heard this word erosion. It's kind of news, but this is cool. So gravity is related to erosion. Awesome. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have now completed our circle map notes. But how is the teacher going to know we did this right? How are we going to know we did this right? We need a rubric. Yeah, rubric. Woo! We like rubrics. Okay, I'm going to show you my rubric now. Right. If you've taken any of our other lessons, this rubric might look familiar because they're all very similar. So this is the circle map notes rubric. You can see this column on the left says concerns or areas of growth. This is where you or your teacher could put notes about what things you might need to do better on your map. In the middle, we have the criteria. Those are the things we're required to have on our map to get 100%. And then on the right, we have this column that says evidence of exceeding the standard. This is where you or your teacher can put notes about what you did well. Yeah, kind of cool, right? All right, so let's look at the center column, the criteria. So the first criteria is that the lesson title is clear and legible in the central circle. So let's take a look. Did we do that properly? Yes. Chapter 7, Section 2, Erosion and Deposition. You can see that title. We're good. Okay. All headings and subheadings are present in the outer circle. Oh, okay. So remember, we have inner circle, outer circle, frame of reference. Those are the parts of our map. And it says that all the headings and subheadings from our section have to be included in our map. And we did do that when we went through this. I know because I double-checked my work before I made the video. Yeah, all right. You may have to go back and skim through the chapter, double-check, make sure you got all those headings and all the little titles. Okay, whoops, wrong thing. There we go. So then we've got the title clearly labeled in the middle. We made sure that all those little headings and subheadings were on our circle. And then all of the vocabulary or bold terms need to be defined or explained on our map, which we did very carefully. All right. Last but not least, the frame of reference must contain at least 3 sources or connections to prior knowledge. Oh, so do we have at least 3 things in our frame of reference? Let's see, we've got our source here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 connections we were able to make. Awesome. So we have met all the criteria for our map. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well done. I hope that you are now ready to go out and make your own circle map notes. Remember, this is an excellent way to help you activate prior knowledge and build connections between the new information in your book and the things that brilliant you already know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful week. We will see you next time. Okay.